What's up, everybody? I tell you, it's. Listen, we got to jump right into this because we are doing a fantasy draft, and it starts right here on the clock. I am on. I am on the clock already. They
There
picked the
you go.
players already, and we're at. We're picking. So it looks like the first two picks were, of course, you know, right off the bat, it looked like to me Christian McCaffrey and Dalvin Cook. So putting me on the clock with 11 seconds, I'm going Kamara.
Oh, there was a guy three down from that you should have went with.
Yeah, I'm not interested in Ezekiel Elliott for my first pick. So I get it and I can appreciate it, but yeah. So and these happen in 90-second intervals. Just so all right, now that I'm here and we can go ahead and actually start the show since I was jumping on the clock that fast. Welcome to the NFC East show. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Zodiac TV, Northeast Streaming Sports Network. And tonight is the night where we are doing a fantasy draft along with talking about fantasy. Now, I don't have to pick again all the way. I was the fourth pick in the draft, so this one. So obviously there were three picks ahead of me, and it was Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, and Derrick Henry that was chosen right off the bat. So that's why, and then it came to me.
There you go.
And now that we are like here, and I haven't even shared yet because it was like everything happened so fast this time around. We do you do a lot of fantasy drafts?
No, I don't actually do fantasy football altogether.
I tell you, you're probably the smart one of that. Because I tell you, it's been this is the second draft that I have, and next week I've got like four of them, and it's like I don't even care. Most of the time, I just want to make sure that as long as they don't have like the injuries, like they had when we drafted on Sunday. The guy from the Ravens had just got notified that we got the MCL tear.
Oh.
So that's what happened. Where is Sneaky G? That is a good question. He said he had something pop up, and I don't ask questions. Family comes first, and that's where he's at. He said he may try to stop in a little later. Hopefully, he will make it. Otherwise, we will just have to carry on without him. With him thinking. Same thing with our Washington guy. I don't know what happened to Chris either. You know what I mean? Chris is whatever. But all right, so we're on the clock in 10 more picks. And obviously, so in this league, this is a PPL league, we also have to pick one defensive player. And which is an interesting thing because I remember I just flip flop through defensive players. I was not very good at defensive players, and I'll be honest, I'm not very good at fantasy football. However, in 2018, I was in this league specifically. This is the EOP, and for anybody that knows EOP, this is the Edge of Philly Sports. And they do a podcast that actually happens the same time as we do. So it's unfortunately, if you listen to us, then you have to go over to kind of listen to them after the fact, or vice versa. So that being said, 2 years ago they had me in this draft or in this league, and I came in second place, and I lost to one of the members of EOP. Last year, I wasn't asked to come into this league, and this year I was asked back. So I think it was a lack of communication 2 years ago or a year ago. or the fact that I was just that damn good and they were scared. But that's
Could be a
beside,
mixture.
could be a mixture. So we got 6 picks left. Right now, I don't know. I'm going to put this as the big screen so that we can kind of see it.
You're
I don't
on the
know if you're
clock.
able to see that or not.
Yeah, you're on the clock now in 4.
Yes, 4 picks. These guys are picking pretty quickly here. A lot of running backs are coming off the board. Wow, Ezekiel Elliott came in. Was pick number 11. Now, that I think that's common in Philadelphia drafts. I mean, it's funny as that sounds, but I think that is absolutely the case.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that.
Now, looking at we got pick number 21. I do you have a do you, like if you were going to draft a team and you obviously don't play fantasy football, so I don't know how much help you're going to be here. Um,
What else you got on the board? Scroll down.
so
Man, everyone's so good.
right, right.
uh,
You know what? DeAndre Hopkins is right there. Calvin Ridley, AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin, who I to be honest, I may try to pick up on the backside of this too. So
I don't
I'm
know.
gonna go. I got to go with DeAndre Hopkins, even though he's questionable. I think you
What,
got to go with him.
what about Travis Kelce?
Gone.
George Kittle's still on there.
Yeah, not yet. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not as big on that. Um,
CD Lamb's going to have over 1,000 yards.
CeeDee Lamb could be somebody I pick up in the 3rd round or 4th even. I think I got to go DeAndre Hopkins. Although I do like CeeDee Lamb, to be honest, I like Terry McLaurin better. Talking about the guys from the East, I drafted DeAndre Hopkins. I can't. Sometimes you got to go with the best available, and he is the best receiver in the league, even though he's got his too short to throw to him.
Right
Yeah,
now,
it said draft running backs early. I get that, but there's already too many good running backs off the board. Now you're already in the 2nd and 3rd tier. I'm going to go wait until the 4th and 5th rounds before I draft more running backs. I think. Now I got to get point getters. That's what I think. So now you have you ever played fantasy football at all?
no.
So you're the perfect one for this show.
No, I've never played it. It's been, it's just, I focus too much on my team, and I can't imagine he'd sit there rooting for somebody else on another team to score points so I could win something.
No, and I can appreciate that. Yeah, because I'll be honest, if you're playing against the Eagles that day, I don't play you. It cost me. It cost me.
Yeah.
It always does. But it's like you gotta have some rules. Speaking of which, now that we're talking, and I got a few more minutes before I'm back on the clock again, the NFC East in the preseason was 1-11-1.
Oh, yeah.
So in the midst of that, you guys lost to Jacksonville.
Yeah. I mean, that was one of those games, no starters, including linemen, didn't play. That was more of for the overall, see who else is going to get cut series. On the defensive side, it was a little bit more coaching to see who was going to be in there for our defensive backs. As you can see, we got rid of some of those DBs, which needed to go. And surprisingly, your guy is still there, Danucci. He got picked back up on the practice squad today after being cut yesterday.
Yeah, I knew he was going to get cut, and I knew that they were going to he's not going to get picked up off the waiver wire.
Yeah, it could just be another arm for camp or for practice. I don't know.
You got to have 3 quarterbacks, and it doesn't matter how.
Yeah.
That's why the Eagles traded for the mustache.
Well, we just picked up that other kid from Carolina with the mustache. We picked him up. We picked him up off waivers.
Who was the guy with the mustache? So I'm next pick here. So we have Calvin Ridley, just real quick. Calvin Ridley, A.J. Brown, Terry McLaurin, Keenan Allen, Allen Robertson, C.D. Lamb, who is out, and George Kittle, James Robinson, David Montgomery, Robert Woods, Amari Cooper, DeAndre Swift. Now, knowing that they picked up Miles Sanders early, first pick in the third round on a 12-man. Let's see. Who does fantasy football? I do fantasy football. Philip. All right. The team name is We Won Again or Won Again. So, and I am picking my guy, Terry McLaurin. There we go. Anyways, so now I have like lots of picks before it happens again. So do you put any stock in anything that you just saw in the preseason at all?
No. Not one thing, and the reason I'm being is, well, the amount of snaps that were taken by, the offensive line, the starting offensive line, these running backs, cornerbacks, wide receivers were basically there just to practice their routes. I don't take anything away from it. It's the same thing with the Giants and the Eagles. They were both just putting their scouts, putting their scouting teams to the work to see who was going to be good enough to take on that 53-man roster from what I was seeing.
Right. Well, and I don't know. As I think about it, I don't know if it was the right idea to not play the quarterback. I know in your case, he was out. Kind of. He was definitely not going to throw the ball or not going to be in play, and I think that would make me a little more nervous coming off of an injury.
I wasn't worried about it. One, because of the investment. Two, because he more than likely didn't. These guys didn't want to play. I understand Tom Brady. Out there the last game of the preseason, showcasing what he's got. All understandable, but as far as the investment, I don't think I don't think he wanted to be out. Well, I don't think the ownership wanted him out there to be throwing around what he's already going to be getting. Now, are they going to be rusty off the start next week? Maybe, maybe not. Who knows?
Why is C.D. Lamb out?
What do you mean, C.D. Lamb out?
It says that he's out. Why is he out for week 1? Is he hurt?
I haven't heard that. I have
a big O next to his name. Let's find out.
Could it be the groin? I don't know.
Out. COVID list.
Oh.
Okay. He's on COVID. He's out for week 1.
I think they have him on the. I think he's out just right now temporarily because he was around somebody.
All right, so we're in 4 picks. And in 2 picks, we have an auto drafter. So that's probably going to wind up with C.D. Lamb. You have Allen Robertson. C.D. Lamb was just taken. And I am next on the clock. George Kittle, Amari Cooper, Devontae Johnson, Tyler Lockett, Cooper Kupp, DJ Moore, Brandon Ayuk. First running back is Chase Edmonds and Gus Edwards. I think you take George Kittle here, right?
I think he's going to be a big asset for the Niners on the tight end, yeah. But again, I'm biased. I would go Amari Cooper. He's going to have over 1,000 yards catching as well. 10-plus touchdowns.
Well, I have a feeling that I'm going to be able to get
But
him.
you would be playing George Kittle more, being that it'd be one of those things that'd be more in your favor.
What's up, Mario? Mario, we're doing fan. We got Sydney, Australia, checking
What's
in.
up?
So we're doing a fantasy football draft. Right now, we are just about into round number 5. So far on the team, I have Alvin Kamara, Hopkins as a wide receiver, Terry McLaurin as a receiver, George Kittle as a tight end. I need another running back. Running backs that are available: Chase Edmonds, Gus Edwards, Javonte Williams, Kareem Hunt, Myles Gaskin. Didn't Myles Gaskin play for the Cowboys?
No.
Okay.
Yeah. See, right now we got 5 guys on the reserve COVID-19.
Wow. So I think Amari Cooper is going to make it back to me. I have 4 picks. It's. Are you able to see kind of what's happening there?
Yeah, I can see.
If anybody has any other options or any other ideas, go ahead and put it in the notes here. Yeah, put it in the messages.
You still got Kareem Hunt on there too.
Yeah, I don't. Does he play? Does he make it in the? Is he the number 1 starter in Cleveland?
I believe he is. What's the kid from Kansas City? He's gone. He has to be gone.
Yeah, he was long gone. What's his name? He's got like 2 names. I have him in my other league.
What about
Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Yeah, what about the kid from Tampa Bay?
I want to say also gone. Actually, I do not see the kid from Tampa Bay.
Yep.
Amari Cooper was just taken.
Right before you?
Yep. For running backs, we have Javonte Williams, Kareem Hunt.
And that's it, huh?
Wow, there's more, I'm sure, but yeah. I don't know. I like Kareem Hunt better. We got 45 seconds to pick.
Oh, Leonard Fournette. That's who it is.
We're going to be able to get him later.
I'll tell you who I'd take right now.
Who?
on the defensive side.
We have another 2 rounds yet before we have to pick anybody on defense.
Yeah, I would just make that surprise pick on the defense, screw everybody up.
Yeah, I don't know that it would screw anybody up though.
Yeah, again, I don't know anything about draft, so
All
I don't
right,
know
so
fantasy football, that is.
I had to go Kareem Hunt. So we have 16 more picks. So that all being said, you guys start off the season with Tampa Bay.
Yep.
How are you feeling about that game?
I think it's going to be a lot closer than people are giving it. I think, of course, Tampa Bay is going to come out firing. They're going to be dropping the cloth, getting, it's going to be a spectacle for them. But I think overall, the game scheme of things, I think it's going to be a closer game than what's going to be led on by what other critics think. But, I think Dak's going to be a little bit, rusty at first, but it's nothing he's not familiar with.
Well, what's the spread on that game right now?
I don't know, because I don't gamble on that stuff either. But I'm going to say it's probably at least 4.5.
It's got to be more than that, I think. Let me see if it's September 9th, right? That's when it is.
Mm-hmm.
All right. $7.5 right now.
Yep, I see that now.
And the Eagles are a 3.5 point dog. I don't know. At the moment, I think I would, if I was a betting man, actually the 51.5 is the bet
over
there.
under.
The under.
You take the under on that game?
The under. I don't think it's going to be a lot of points in the first game of the season.
I think there's going to be a little bit of fireworks, second quarter. But I'll be able to tell you, I don't know. It's going to be one of those things. I can't wait to see it. I can't wait to be there.
You're going to Tampa, right?
Yeah.
You're going to be hanging with Big Nasty?
I'm going to be hanging out with a bunch of guys. Hopefully, I run into Big Nasty. I'll be running into Chris and Cheryl Spence. I'll be at What the Buck tailgate.
Yep. Great tailgate. I was there for the Super Bowl.
There you go.
It'll be interesting to see how that all plays out.
Yeah, I think, like I said, it's going to be a lot of fireworks, being that they're going to drop the banner, the whole 9 yards, celebrating their Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'd wish you luck, but I wouldn't mean it.
We won't need it. We'll get them.
Yeah, you know what? To be honest, I think that you would really be able to, because of all the fanfare going around that, except for the fact that they did play in the last preseason game.
Yeah. And that again, just like you mentioned, dropping the banner, it's going to be the hoopla. I think, the Cowboys are going to definitely be hungry. Dak Prescott's going to be hungry. But, it's going to be one of those things. It's going to be a telltale of our defense. It's going to be a telltale of our offense. I think our defense is going to do a lot better this year. I think our defense is going to surprise a lot of folks.
Well, it can't be much worse.
No. Well, it could one spot. But I don't think we'll be up in that contention anymore.
Well,
are we going to give up some yards? More than likely. Are we going to be able to cover that from what we did last year? I believe so. I don't think we're going to have any more of those over 30-plus yard passes quite like we did last year.
You know, I'd be giving them up. You mean?
Yeah. Yeah,
You guys did give them up a lot.
Yeah, last year the Cowboys definitely gave those up, and that was when in the scheme of the defense, when you make it so it was too complex for what was needed.
Well, oh, I'm back on the clock again.
Ah, dang.
Yeah, it goes pretty quick. Top pick is Brandon Ayuk, Galladay, Odell Beckham Jr. Then after that, you have Cortland Sutherland or Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, first linebacker Devin White, Dak Prescott, Damian Harris, Brandon Cooks.
Dak Prescott's going to give you over 5,000 yards this year.
I don't like his leg.
Well, that's why he's got the arm.
$22 seconds left.
Jerry Jeudy.
Yeah. Does he actually score points?
Yeah. He's got the routes in. He's one of the good kids, man.
You know what? I'm going to go on your thought there. Draft. We drafted him.
He's a hell of a route runner, man.
And we're up again shortly. So,
what's your little logo up there?
And so my logo is, what is my logo? Had me an auto pick there for a second. Don't want to auto pick at all. Oh, it did auto pick me. It gave me Galladay instead of who I chose.
Oh, probably because of the time.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It is what it is. It's what happens when you're slow. TJ Watt is close enough on the board now. I like my quarterback to be Tom Brady.
I know, man. That draft that year.
That's a bitch.
He went.
Well, it drafted Jerry Jeudy because I pushed the draft button, and oh man, whatever. All right, I wouldn't have picked Galladay and Jeudy. Definitely would not have done that. So now it's time for sleepers. Who's a sleeper on your team that you think is going to score a lot of points this year?
Well, Dak Prescott is throwing him. That is.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, he's gonna have 25 plus.
Yeah, I might think that he's going to have 25 touchdowns, but I think he's going to also have like 12 interceptions. I mean, I can't say for certain, but
Justin Herbert too. Justin Herbert's a good quarterback.
So the problem I have with Justin Herbert is that he would He's going to go in a sophomore slump.
I don't think he will. Talking to the fans out there, they're seeing a lot of stuff from him.
Yeah. Well, no, and I get that, but if you're talking to the fans out there, that's part of the problem.
Well,
Because
the
San
fans,
Diego fans, Charger fans are always going to be on the positive side of things because they got nothing else to be positive about.
well, they got the Padres.
Yeah, who's stinking up the bed right now?
Yeah, no, I think Justin Herbert's not going to have that sophomore slump. Being that as good as he was last year, I think he's just only going to get better this year by at least 500 yards.
I wish
I think
could.
he's got a feel. He's got a really good touch on that football, man. He's got one. He's got a pretty pass. He knows the routes. He expects his receivers to be there, and he can fit it in the pocket.
The quarterbacks disappeared.
Yep.
Ryan Tannehill went first. Justin Herbert went thereafter. Dak Prescott went thereafter.
Yep.
And I am on the clock.
They're probably listening to you, bud.
They could be. They could be. They'd probably learn something. Let's see who's the top quarterback rated.
But to take what's his name? Tannehill.
Brady's already off the board.
Yeah, Brady was always. Yeah, he was way up there.
Oh, at this point, then.
I can't believe Tannehill went in front of Herbert.
If that's the case, then I am. Got to go with another running back. Who's the best running back available?
18 seconds left.
Yep, I know. Sony Michel, Leonard Fournette. There we go. Now I got Leonard. I think that's not a bad pick, actually. Let's see. Who is good tight ends?
Gronkowski.
It's actually not a bad pick either. He might make it back to me, though. I doubt it, though. You know who I don't want to pick? Evan Ingram.
Never hear the end of that.
TJ Watt is the 78th ranked player. How many points did he got? 101 points on defense. A lot of points.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm telling you, I'm going back to that draft in Dallas when it was him and Taco, and we took Taco. All because our coach at the time said that TJ Watt, he couldn't see the bend. Cowboys fans are still upset to this day.
How about Sony Michel? Does you think who's the starting running back in for the Rams?
I believe that is him.
Nah, he can't be the starter. Not at number 100. I guess he can catch the ball. I mean, this is all he's from the Patriots, right?
Yep. Yeah, he just got traded over there.
He just got traded?
Yeah, that was the trade on Monday.
Then I definitely want to do it. There we go. Perfect. I like that because that means he's going to try to get in with Mitchell.
Yeah, I think,
not Mitchell. I just called him Mitchell, right? Scott Mitchell. As I remember, Detroit Lions quarterback Scott Mitchell. It ain't anywhere near Scott Mitchell. We're
No.
talking. We're talking a whole decade, maybe a decade and a half behind that.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I think the Pats got like a 6th-round pick for him or something else. Yeah, but that
Hey,
trade was done Monday.
hey, the fact that.
Wow, Joe Burrow's still on there.
Well, yeah, but that's because they're down at 150. You know what I mean? So
Well, that's because he got injured last year. But before the injury, look at his stats. And he's got a receiver this year coming out of LSU.
I'm sure they're picking up their backup quarterbacks right now. Trying to think on who I would even bother taking right now. Do you take Joe Burrow?
Uh, I would take him, being that he's starting and being that he's got that receiver that won him that national championship 2 years ago.
Got that. That makes sense.
I think, with Trevor Lawrence sitting there, he hasn't proven himself yet in the NFL. So
Right.
Tua, you know, wow, Jarvis Landry's still on there.
Yep. Antonio Brown. These are all
Yeah,
going to be bench players. So
yeah, but Antonio and those guys, Jarvis is. At least you see Jarvis on the field. As to where Antonio Brown, you don't know where he'll be.
wow, some of the defenses are coming off the board now.
Told you.
It's a little early for defense, but I don't care about defense, to be honest. Defense, you're going to be able to pick up. You're going to pick out all these defenses, and there's going to be a defense that scores a lot of points, and you pick them up, and they're going to be on the waiver wire because nobody's going to think about them, and you're going to be able to pick them up and score a lot of points on defense. So we got the next pick in a minute and 8 seconds. Michael Gallup is up on the list.
Yep.
What are your expectations from him?
With him and Cooper playing, he's going to be up there. He will be on the field more often than not. But I can see him getting 5 touchdowns.
That's not enough.
5 touchdowns, about 950 yards.
A.J. Dillon, Jamal Williams, Danielle Hunter.
Someone got Mac Jones.
Yep.
Oh, you're on the clock right now.
I am.
I'd go with Jarvis Landry.
All right. Here we go. Jarvis Landry.
Just because there's not, there's competition there in Cleveland, but between him and Odell Beckham, that's going to be a force to reckon with in the NFC North.
So Blake Martinez is scouted to make 174 points as a linebacker.
Yep.
The next defensive is 93.
And who was that?
Joey Bosa.
For line? Oh, you're talking about follow up.
Yeah, well, so actually, there's a safety in between them that's going to make 137. But I'm like thinking about that, like just in the grand scheme of things, it's like it's such a big drop off. We're back on the clock in 3 picks, and we still don't have a quarterback.
I thought you got Burrow.
I didn't grab him. And I don't like quarterbacks coming off of leg injuries. I just don't like them. You know what I mean? That's the problem. And that's why I wouldn't really pick Dak. Now, and then I look at, all right, Trey Lance or Justin Fields or Trevor Lawrence or Tua. You know what I mean? They all suck. Not they all suck. It's just.
Well, Jameis Winston's going to be slinging that ball this year.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Hopefully he's not 40 for 40 touchdowns, 40 interceptions.
There's Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. I don't know. It's going to be a tight division there where, for the Bears, Justin Fields and Andy Dalton. The way everyone's making it seem is Dalton's already done. Might as well throw Justin Fields in there.
Right. I mean, if that's the case, I could probably pick much later.
So, who do you have on there? Everybody.
That's for everybody, but here's quarterbacks. We also haven't done defenses yet. Really? Washington defense being on there is actually pretty good, but I don't care about defense. I am on the clock. My auto pick will be that linebacker that I was just telling you about from the New York Giants. So, no, I'm not interested. Who's a backup tight end? Tyler Higbee? Rob Gronkowski?
I don't know. The injuries are there for that.
True.
You got your guy there, Zach Ertz.
Who just confirmed he wanted to stay. He doesn't want to be anywhere else. Michael Gallup's still on there. I am going to go A.J. Dillon. I don't like him.
25 seconds.
Yeah, I always go to the last minute here. Nope. Running
10
back.
seconds. 4 seconds.
A.J. Dillon. I'm so bad with this sometimes.
You got more than one, huh?
More than one
draft to do like this?
Oh, yeah. Actually,
Wow.
this one ain't so bad because it actually tells you who's left and where they rank. So, in comparison to like having to do it yourself, which if I have to do it myself, I just auto pick. In fact, I'm going to be at a concert during one of these that's definitely going to get auto picked. As long as they keep out the injuries, I'll be all right. DJ Chark Jr.
He's pretty good for Jacksonville.
Yeah, is he going to have anybody thrown to him though?
Yeah.
Yeah, the problem is they ain't got nobody that's going to be able to block.
Well,
That's the issue. That's really the issue. It's not really anything else. It's just the fact that nobody can even block.
it's gonna be a tight race between the Colts and them, but Tennessee is definitely going to take that division.
I mean, you don't think Carson Wentz is going to just go over there and set the world on fire?
He could with his old coach. That's questionable.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I think Tennessee's going to definitely. I know Houston's not going to do anything in that division.
What if I told you the reason why the Eagles were so good the year that they won the Super Bowl was because of God? I mean, I could tell you, it's kind of funny that I say it exactly like that, but I'm a firm believer that when you have a bunch of people pulling in the same direction, that you can move mountains.
Oh yeah.
And they were getting people baptized in the locker room on a weekly basis.
I can see it.
It's like the Blues Brothers. We're on a mission from God. You know what I mean? And it just and everything kind of comes together. And you know what? When you believe enough and you do it enough, you just do it. I mean, it's like there's no other real good explanation. On paper, they should have been long gone.
Yeah, but they fought just like they put themselves in a position like other teams, but they prevailed.
And it was like a next man up. It was definitely,
Yeah,
you always hear, our friend Craig say, "We all we got, we all we need," but that came from the Eagles that year. So they stole it from us because that was Jenkins was the one who quoted that. We all we got, we all we need. Five picks left. We're getting closer to the point where I should probably take a quarterback.
you got to remember those stats for Burrow. He didn't play the full season.
These are expected stats, though. They're all projected. They're not from last year.
Oh, okay.
I'm on the clock in 3 picks. I'm on the clock in 1 pick. See, that 1 pick that's auto kind of changes things, makes things happen right away. We are on the clock, and my auto pick would be Joey Bosa. Not a chance in hell. Do I take Joe Burrow now? Do you take a backup tight end?
There's your guy at the top.
Again, that's not a chance. The wide receivers. Yeah, Cole Beasley. I would consider him, except I think he's going to wind up getting COVID and dying, actually. Not because of anything else, only because he was the one that was most outspoken about it. Weirdo things happen to weirdo things like that.
Let's see.
I'm not wishing it on him, just so everybody knows. I'm not wishing Cole Beasley to die. I just, sometimes karma has a funny way of catching up with people.
I think you'd be better off with that QB.
Joe?
Yep.
All right. Joe Burrow. Probably could have picked him in another 6 picks, and he would have been right in tune with where he should have been picked. So we picked him a little early. We projected him a tad bit higher. In a realistic sense, I know that you feel that Dallas is going to win all their games and that they're going to go to the Super Bowl and such like that. What do you really, in a realistic sense, what do you think your record's going to wind up being?
12-5.
Really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the over/under in the Cowboys right now is 8.5.
And here's the thing. I think our games are, as always they are in the division. I think we'll still pull out. I know Washington's going to have their team. I know they got a great defense, everything else. But it's just I knew last year we weren't going to do what we did. Or I should rephrase that. I knew we wouldn't get to where everyone thought we should be. And it wasn't just because of Dak going down against the Giants. It was the whole snowball effect from the head coach to the defensive coach to the coordinators it was just the whole scheme of things that capsized. Once one went tumbling, all of them went tumbling, and the players just didn't want to be there.
Do you think James White's going to get more play now? Rob Gronkowski went last pick. Tony Pollard went the pick before him.
TP.
James White always seems like a really good idea until you actually pick him.
Carlos Hyde.
I got to take it.
Bernard, too, from Tampa Bay. I think he's going to step it up this year, too.
Yeah, I see. I'm more interested in Boston Scott. I got to pick somebody.
2.
So bad with that. So bad.
No more running backs left on the clock.
None for me. I have to take the only positions that I have available: the defensive players, defensive, and the kickers. I cannot take anybody else. No more flexes. DP. See, now that's what I don't understand. You have guys that are going to get many more fantasy points, but yet they're ranked lower. Like, why wouldn't I want Eric Kendricks if he's going to get like 170 points in comparison to Danielle Hunter, who's only going to get 95 points? I don't understand that. I don't get it.
You got Aaron Donald up there, too.
Is he even up there?
Yeah, at the very bottom.
And he's only projected to get 84 points.
That dude's a beast.
He's going to wind up getting 11 sacks they have and 52 tackles all season long. That's where the problems come in.
Yeah, because he's mostly breaking through the line to
Right. So
on
I
pass.
guess you get a point per tackle, and that's the biggest difference there. So I wonder then if that's the case, where Singleton falls. Let's see if I can find him. Alex Singleton. 244, but slated to have 148 points.
Putting them in your queue.
I think so. And then, yeah, because I got 12 picks. He shouldn't get picked between now and then. And if he does get picked, then I know somebody's listening.
Probably probably somebody there local.
And then who do you take? Who do you like for a kicker? I kind of like the Rams kicker, Gay. Only because he's in a partial dome. Or is it a full dome? That's a
It's a
full dome.
full. Yeah, it's a full dome, glass top, just like Minnesota.
Yes, that's always air conditioned in there. They don't have real grass, right?
Yep, it's turf.
Huh.
You got Greg Zerline, then you got Matt. I don't know, man. These kickers, they have one job, and
And they
everybody,
can't seem to get that right either.
huh?
And they can't seem to get that right either.
Yeah, exactly. I think players. I think teammates get more upset about that than anything. Nope, Carson Wentz went off the board. Man, Michael Pittman was still there.
I think I got enough receivers. We got 5 wide receivers, 6 running backs, 1 tight end.
Man, you're already up in 3 again.
Yep. Happens fast.
Oh, you just got the kicker selected right now. Man, Derek Carr was still on the board.
Evan Ingram finally got picked.
Yeah, see that. Sneaky's on the other side. That's what he's busy doing. There you go.
I'm going to take I took Matt Gay. That leaves me with the defensive player and then the defensive spot. And at that point, I don't even care what type of defense I pick.
What exactly do you win from doing this? Bragging rights?
Bragging rights from one podcast to another, which is good, which is the start. And then also, because it's 9:00 now. All right, perfect. So, see, it only took an hour for 18 picks. That actually is quick. That is really quick. And I was probably the longest one. It took me the whole minute and a half.
Yeah. Everybody's probably pissed off at you.
That's okay because I can't hear them.
Not yet. But when y'all go match up, I guess.
And I got 3 picks left to take with Singleton and the defense. I like it because there's no way that anybody's going to take Singleton.
Well, you got D-Law, Chase Young.
Who's the defense? The Broncos, the Saints, the Packers.
Ugh.
Well, who would it say that I would take if I was? All right. Well, it's not going to say because it's just he's in my queue. So I'm taking him. Screw you. So there, and then if when it comes back around again, we'll let it stay. We'll let it stay up here for a minute. So, and this is a fantasy draft. Obviously, it went pretty quick here. I did a live draft with a bunch of people, and I'm horrible when it comes to live drafts because I get, I'm too busy paying attention to try to what everybody else is, and then I forget. Like I don't ever have all the stuff that everybody else has on who's left, who's not. So, because I don't write it down, it makes things a little bit challenging. But it is what it is. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter. That league, I actually started 20 some years ago. It seems now at this point, and I've been in the championships a couple times, but I've never won. And that's a great trophy. The trophy that I had for that one was I walked into the trophy store place and I'm like, give me the biggest trophy that you have that somebody didn't come pick up. And he comes out with this monster cup on like this block on top of a block. And he's like, yeah, they didn't come get it. And I'm like, that's our trophy. So you have this monster trophy. I mean, it's actually like, we've poured beer in it. I mean, it would hold like 8 beers. We had a buddy of ours who won this trophy like 3 or 4 times, pass away suddenly this year. Oh. So we nominated the trophy. We named the trophy after him.
There you go.
So it's now the Frank Tripode trophy. And he won and he was one of those guys. I tell you, he was one of those guys that was like, he was one of the smartest people in the room, if not the smartest person in the room. He didn't have to tell you. You just knew it, just the way he carried himself. And he was really good at one-liners. And I tell you, it's rare when somebody can get under my skin. But he could do it. He knew how to zing me in a way that it actually hurt. And I'm like, yeah, you're making me angry. You better watch yourself. You know what I mean? Because it's hard when like when we deal with people and we go back and forth with one-liners. I mean, there's a lot of stock answers. However, but like sometimes I'm pretty good with zinging people. You know what I mean? With one-liners, that it gets. I'm on the clock in 1 pick. And let's see who it's going to give me.
Miami.
Miami would be the pick if I chose it. Who is on Miami defense? So they got the Lions. Is the Lions really projected that low? It was funny in my other league. I made him pick the Lions because he put the Lions on the board and then pulled it off and it wouldn't stick. So he would have had to write it in. So my last pick in the draft was the Lions. Huh. You know what? Just because of sneaky.
That's it.
I picked his defense and I'll trade them away. I'm going to throw them out in free agency. The draft is now complete.
Wow, that was the last pick, huh?
That was the last pick. All right, and actually, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to share it back up again. I'm going to put it back up there because it shows you who my picks are. Let's go straight. That's who we have on this team. TPSG won again. Alvin Kamara, DeAndre Hopkins, Terry McLaurin, George Kittle, Kareem Hunt, Kenny Galladay. He was not one of my picks. Jerry Jeudy, Leonard Fournette, Sony Michel, Jarvis Landry, AJ Dillon, Joe Burrow's throwing the ball, Jamal Williams, Matt Gay, and Alex Singleton, along with the New York Giants defense. That team definitely looks like it's going to win a championship here in this league after I make a few changes. Like Joey Galladay. Joey Galladay should get traded for like a backup tight end.
That was the automatic pick, right?
That was the automatic pick. Bastard. Always getting me.
Putting that stuff in there, buddy.
Well, at least it wasn't Evan Ingram.
Yeah.
I mean, Kenny Galladay, he was the big trade this year, right? For the Giants.
Who's that?
Kenny Galladay. He was the big free agent pickup.
Yeah. Yeah, there's still a lot of. I mean, there's a lot of willing and dealing right now with all the practice squad. The whole. I think they're still having the. How many guys are they having on the practice squad with these protocols?
15.
15?
15.
Yeah, so there's still a lot of willing and dealing going on. So.
Right. Well, I know that there's a lot of pickups off of waiver wires and practice squads and stuff like that. There's going to be a lot of that, I can imagine. And that's, and it's interesting when they have them on practice squads. I mean, I guess you want to have people unprotected or protected on the practice squad. Like, for instance, I knew that the Eagles themselves, they had to cut specifically Tyree Jackson, who was a great tight end.
Mm-hmm.
And I expect, it's interesting because I expect Dallas Goedert to get moved this year. I expect that the Eagles will be very active in the trade department during the season.
To get rid of Dallas Goedert?
I don't know that it's necessary to get rid of Dallas Goedert, but I think with the affirmation that Zach Ertz is going to remain, and Tyree Jackson had a great camp before he broke his back, like quite literally. I expect that they are, and Richard Rodgers is actually a really good tight end. That they have a surplus in that department. And if you're going to keep Zach Ertz, and I don't know what that necessarily means, but that the Eagles have always been really big on keeping their tight ends. It's like it seems like when they have a tight end, they have the tight end forever unless they don't like him at all.
Yeah.
The one exception to that was Keith Jackson, and that was because he hated the owner, and he had every right to. But Keith Jackson, every year when it's 88 days you know, from football, I usually put out Keith Jackson and saying he was the best number 88 with the Eagles, and he says I got good taste. So, um, he is, like I said, but the Eagles, and you know what? The NFC East have usually kept their tight ends forever. Again, the only difference I think to that was like Shockey when he
Yeah.
went to New Orleans, and I think that was just more because of him. But usually a tight end, if he's going to move, is late in the career and he moves laterally. Like, I mean, the moment that Witten went to,
Vegas.
Oakland, yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not interested. You know what I mean? I'm not interested in being there. So, yeah, although it was better than him, being in the booth. He was definitely not a booth guy.
Not yet. We'll see how Drew Brees does this year.
I think Drew Brees is a lot more affable. And I think I think it becomes the reason why quarterbacks do so well is because a quarterback typically has to do more public speaking.
Yep.
And because of that, and just because of the way that they have to handle it, you think of a quarterback, in a layman's term, a quarterback is the foreman on the job. He is like the lead foreman. So he's the one running the party. He's going to be the one that's throwing the ball, obviously, but he's like the one that makes sure everything is happening the way it's supposed to. He's supposed to be extension of the boss.
Yep.
And the boss is on the side making all the calls. He's the one phone calling in to the foreman to say how to do the work.
Yep.
And it sounds very funny when you put it in contractor terms because it's a game here. This is a game we're talking about. We're not talking about building a wall or doing anything that's like, construction like. However, it's not different in that scheme of things. And that's why even Tony Romo was great until he didn't care anymore. Because that's what happened. He stopped caring about the work.
Yep.
He put the work out there, and that's why he was able to call all the plays. That's why he was able to do the things he was doing, and he was perfect at it. He was like calling the plays ahead of time, and then they said to calm down, and he's like, "Well, what do you mean calm down? You mean
don't do what I'm supposed to do."
Yeah, exactly. So then he stopped doing everything.
Yep. And
it's
then
a shame.
He started going, and it really was. But I get it. $20 million, you're doing what you're told.
Right. Yeah, but then the problem is that he's not worth the $20 million now.
Yeah, well,
the truth of the matter is that he's got to go back to doing what he was doing before, and frig what they're saying. That's because the truth of the matter is that when you are educating people the way that he was doing, he was telling you what the play was going to be before the play happened, and then they executed the play.
Yep.
And then, so the thing with that is that when they execute the play right, he gets to explain exactly why it was executed right. If it's executed wrong, he gets to then explain why it didn't work. And that's what the American public really wants to hear. They don't want to hear, that it was that number, and like, hey, well, if if you go off sides, it's going to cost you 5 yards.
Yeah, you don't want to hear from Booger. The reason they won is they got more points.
Right, exactly. It's like, hey, listen, Booger is definitely not. Who was the guy from the Yankees that did all that? The catcher.
Oh, Yogi Berra.
Yogi Berra. You know what I mean? He's definitely not Yogi Berra. You know what I mean? I enjoyed. Yeah, I felt it was like a lot of fun. Those yogi-isms. You know what I mean? To read them and such like that. But when all is said and done, it's yeah. People want to be not only entertained, but they want to learn about it.
Yeah.
You know, that is what makes me. When I watch a game, and people would come into the bar and watch me watch the game. When I wasn't there and I wasn't getting dressed up all the time. I would go to these games and I would sit and I'd have the TV by myself because nobody would come near me. And, and it's not because it's like it's you could come talk to me. It's not like I was scaring you away. It's just that I'm sitting there in front of the television like this.
Oh, same here.
And I'm watching the game. And I tell you, it makes me angry. Especially 2016 made me so angry because there would be times when if I notice something on the field, if I pick up on it, I know because they don't pay me a lot of money to pick up on stuff like that. I know that the other teams picked up on it.
Yeah.
Because they get paid money to do this. And I don't. But when I pick up on it, most of the people around me have no idea what I just picked up on.
Yeah.
Like, I'll never forget, specifically, there was one play where it's like a 4th and goal, and the Eagles are on the 3-yard line, and Zach Ertz wasn't in there. And I'm like, why isn't Zach Ertz in there? You're going to run the ball. They know it. They're going to stack a 10 in the box. If I know that, you better believe by having Zach Ertz, you actually take 2 out of the box. Like literally, because they have to protect that. But they didn't. They didn't have him in there. So they had 10 in the box. You know what? They didn't make it. It was like a 4th and 1. It was like from the 1-yard line. But Zach Ertz wasn't in there. And because he wasn't, and that makes me angry because that means I'm coaching the team better than the coach. How is it that I know and you don't?
It happens. It happens more times than often more than.
Especially because we're students of the game.
Yeah, well, there's also plenty of fans out there that see it. In the last game, preseason, I was at the Houston game. I'm saying exactly what's going to be going on the field, and the guy next to me is freaking out. He's like, "How do you know this? They haven't even done anything." And I'm like, "You can see it. You can see the setup of the defense. You can see it, the setup from the offense. What's going to go on? What's going to play out? Who's going to be open? Who's not going to be open? You can see it happening right before it even happens."
Yep.
And that a lot of fans do. A lot of fans who pay attention out there that are devoted fans can see exactly what Tony Romo sees, Drew Brees sees, what we see.
And they like that. And they like that when it's being told because it educates everybody else.
Yep.
Yeah,
it goes back to the movie Waterboy, where the guy keeps you got to give it all you got, and you got to keep going. We know,
right.
It's 4th down. Okay, if you don't make okay, we all know this.
Right.
But what are they going to do in between to get there? That's what we want to know. We want to know how it breaks down.
Exactly correct. And I like it. I like the fact that I get to see this. Like I actually can understand. I say I am the best at calling what the flag was.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I know. See that. I'm like, there's a flag. That was a hold. Yeah. Yep. And it was this guy over here because it was too big of a hole. Yeah. You could tell I know exactly where it came from, why it came out.
Yeah, you can see just where the flag flies in from, what the call's going to be.
Or like I'm real big on when they do the wrong shift. I'm like, that's a legal procedure. You know what I mean? They're like, "Oh, how do you know that?" I'm like, "Just because I watch the games, I
Yeah.
know what these things are."
And have you noticed how many more illegal shifts has been in this past preseason?
Yep.
There's
Well,
been
because they're not getting reset is the
yeah,
problem.
yeah,
They're going to go away with that rule. They're going to turn that rule is going to go away. You're going to see that they're going to do the next thing that's going to help out the offense is going to be being able to move forward before the snap of the ball,
ooh, kind of like arena football.
kind of like arena football. You're going to see that come about. That's what's
Yeah,
happening right now. That's kind of what's happening because you can run backwards, you can't run forwards.
yeah. See,
So,
I don't think that will happen in the NFL. I just don't. I can't see that them getting them getting rid of that rule because then the defense is going to start crying on all
well,
sides.
the defense will start crying when they start to cry, but they like points in the NFL.
Well, yeah, but I don't know. I just don't see it happening. I mean, that'd be a. I mean, I could see how they get away with it in arena because it's so tight. With the NFL, it's so spread out, and that just gives a disadvantage to the defense because they're standing still. They have to backpedal as to where wide receivers are already in motion, taking off. I
Right.
don't know. That'd be a good conversation to have with some defensive players.
Well, I'm sure that they wouldn't want that, but when I think about that, that's kind of what's happening is that they're starting early. They're starting to make their turns early.
Yeah,
That's what's happening with these illegal procedures. Um, I mean, I understand you got to have the 7 people on the line, and you can have people like so far out and stuff like that. And I mean, there are certain ways that you could set up your offense that if they used to have where it used to be the center and the quarterback, and then over there was the other part of the line.
yeah,
But you could have like a 3-man line there and a 4-man line somewhere else. And in between, you could have like receivers and things like that. You could do weirdo things like that. The reason why they don't is because it's a weirdo thing.
it's.
It's like,
I think it's just the quickness too. How quick these guys are.
well, again, you got to be somewhat protective because if he's doing a shotgun, a 5-yard shotgun, and you got
Yeah,
3 people over here, and then you got a whole nother setup over there, and in the meantime, you got a whole bunch of people in between you.
yeah.
Now
Somebody's
all
gonna.
of a sudden, you're gonna call timeout for that.
Yep, somebody's gonna get laid out.
And normally, it's going to be somebody from the defense.
Yep.
If you're doing that, so that's the one thing I kind of think is very interesting that they have been very secretive, like almost like he's got a very new offense that he's going to start to employ, where you could have, like I said, 5 people on the line over here and 2 people on a small little line over here, and
Well, one of the things that's been driving me up the wall here lately is seeing the offensive line. Not everyone's on the line of scrimmage. They're allowing. It seems to be that the referees, the line judges, are allowing the tackles to be more in than on the line. They're further back off the line, inset, ready to protect their quarterback.
right.
And I think the NFL needs to step up right there and start calling that because it's becoming very, very noticeable, more noticeable than usual.
That they're no longer on the hip pad.
Correct.
Yeah, they're actually stepping out and they're more curved out.
Yes.
Like they're already in the bowl area.
Yes. And that's becoming. It's just becoming more and more obvious the weeks that go by that you see it. And I get it. The line judges, the referees are all part of the preseason. They're warming up and everything, but it's becoming more noticeable and it's becoming more irritating.
Well, and so my thought on that is that that would maybe be a rule that would get to brought up at the beginning of next year.
Yeah,
Like because that was the same thing with this taunting rule.
yeah,
They wanted to do the taunting. Well, then they had that really bad play right after we had Dean on here.
yeah.
They had that bad play that we brought up because yeah, I saw that. And you haven't seen another one called since then.
Yep. Yeah,
So
it's,
they're like,
it's it's just the whole. You know, I get the players and the coaches and everyone have their little quirks about what should be a penalty, what shouldn't be a penalty. But there's some obvious things out there that everybody needs to sit down and look at and just say, okay, guys, we need to focus in on these set of penalties. The offensive pass interference is another one that needs to be really looked at closely. I'm starting to see more wide receivers push off. You know,
that there was the bad beat from the Giants. There was the
yeah,
bad beat. Really, there was the tie with the Eagles. I mean that guy literally pushed off to be able
yeah.
to get the space.
That's what
You
I'm
know,
saying. You can see the extension; it's there, and it's becoming more noticeable. And yet the refs aren't doing anything about it. And again, it's preseason. It is what it is, and I understand everyone's getting to warm up, but it's got to stop being one-sided. It's got to stop. You can't penalize the defensive players for doing their job and not the offensive players.
right? No, I agree with that. I firmly agree with that. But they said it'll be interesting to see how everything turns out. Did you give yourself? You said 12-5.
Yeah,
12-5, and do you have yourselves beaten Tampa Bay, or
I do have ourselves beating Tampa Bay.
who do you have for your losses at 12-5?
Uh, this is where I'm having the difficulty with the Washington game. They're up in Washington.
Okay,
That one still got me a little spooked because when I was there last time, we did win with it going on. But I think we're gonna have a little bit more trouble outside the division. I think New England's gonna be a rough game because we're traveling back up north. Of course, the Eagles game is always a real hard game up there. So I see those two as probably two downfalls right there, and that's why I'm saying I can see Washington as the third up there because of the environment, and not just the fan environment, the elements because we're not playing inside the stadium as usual.
right.
Uh, the Chargers, I think we can beat the Chargers. It's just going to be all dependent on how good of a start we get, and that's a week 2 game. This is coming in after playing Tampa Bay.
Yeah, but
So
that you get 10 days off. I think that's going to really help you there.
yeah, I can see that, but again, I just got to see how we come off this game. That one does got me. And talking with Donnie Cummings from San Diego, that's his team, and that's from the NFC East. That's the Cowboys are one of his more worrisome teams facing him. He thinks he's going to go.
He thought he's going to go 4-0.
Well, he thinks he's going to go 3-1 now. He's still confident. Don't get me wrong. We're all confident.
So I think that we're going to wind up going 9-8. I don't think to be honest, I have us losing once to you guys, and I don't have it. I have us both losing the home game. So I think that we actually beat you down there. I think that you'll come back and beat us here. Um, but I think it's going to be for the wrong reasons that you beat us here.
Yeah.
I think that we'll actually win either a playoff spot and we'll give it up, or it's not going to matter to us and we're going to have packed it in.
Yeah. My other concern was Minnesota up there. So that's going to be another one.
Minnesota has that loud stadium.
Yeah, New Orleans. We got New Orleans the week after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, you have them away too, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah, because we have New Orleans at home too. So
Yeah.
like we have all of the teams that had winning records at home this year,
Yep.
which kind of works out in our benefits. And I tell you, even with having the easiest schedule and having all of the schedule even work in our favor, the Eagles are still slated to go 4-13, and
Yeah,
five and
I saw
12.
that.
And I'm just saying, like, how is it that it actually arguably the best offensive line in the division? Because ultimately, we have three Pro Bowlers on the left side of the line. And I know that our right side of the line is the weak spot, but they did activate Landon Dickerson, and I know that he's not going to play right away, but he's definitely activated. And Jordan Mailata has really shown up this preseason. So that still leaves that our one weakest link is right tackle, and that's Sayamalu. And Sayamalu, although I haven't been happy with his performance, is still better than a lot of the other offensive guards in the league.
Well, the Cowboys' offensive line is right there as well with our three Pro Bowlers. It's same issue. Tackle outside. Center, they were trying to put Connor in there at center during the preseason to get some snaps, and that did not work out for the Cowboys. But we finally said, okay, well, we don't need to put him there. I can never pronounce a kid's name. Biadaz, good kid out of Wisconsin, or not Wisconsin, Nebraska. I can never pronounce his name though. Tyler Biadaz,
Right.
one of those good ones. But yeah, it's the same concept. The swing tackle out there is going to be one of those ones because I've got Leo Collins, I've got Zach Martin, and I've got Tyron Smith. So it's going to be interesting to see what our offensive line is going to do. Our offensive line is going to be holding our own because with our running attack going between Pollard and Smith and Zeke or Dak throwing the ball, that's why we're going to be up there in the points.
I think Pollard will actually emerge as the number one back this year. I think that Zeke is going to trail off. I know that you guys don't want to hear that, but I really
I
believe
don't.
that
I think Zeke's gotten a lot faster. He's lost a lot of weight. He's down. He's kid's looking good, but we got to let the runs speak for themselves.
that's exactly correct. Yeah, it sounds like you're taking off a sneaky. let everything speak for itself. But the one thing, have you seen many games of the rest of the division?
Yes, I've been keeping an eye on everybody.
Oh, the Giants' offensive line is not looking very good at all.
No, look who the coach is.
Well, but
I'm not talking about the head coach. I'm talking about the offensive coordinator side. What kind of plays? Because as an offensive coordinator, you got to feed into what your players can do. If you know those are the players you have to go with the system that can, make your team look good. And right now he's doing all this crap, which he did with the Cowboys, which is going to be. But again, I don't want to speak for Sneaky. We'll let Sneaky speak for himself.
he's he's not going to be happy. I think he's going to have a tough season this year. I really believe that their offensive line is decimated, which is going to create a lot of opportunities to sack Daniel Jones. And I think that he's going to wind up getting hurt. I think they're going to run into the same problem where they're going to overuse Barkley, and Barkley's going to wind up getting hurt again because
Just
they
from
they
overextending.
they don't have anything else. This offensive line is so bad is so bad. And at first I thought that it was maybe the Patriots defense that's so good.
They were looking pretty good. But
they played us both, and they beat our offense. They held us to a shutout.
Yeah.
He threw a lot of blitzes at us.
But see, here's the thing: is I looking at the game from the outside, it seemed that you didn't. No team wanted to give away what they wanted to do offensively.
Right.
It was simplistic. It was the run routes right through the guards, through the tackles, the out routes with the wide receivers, a little bit of post. There was nothing nothing to question what the offense was going to do was going to be out of bounds. It was all going to be simple high school stuff. And you can see that in the 30-plus plays that they did.
Right.
So, and you got to look at it from a defensive standpoint, too. Like our Cowboys defense, we made the stops early. We did everything, but I think it was a mixture of seeing who was going to be on the 53-man roster. Who could we keep? And I think all of the New York Giants, the Eagles, and Washington Football Club were doing that where they were seeing who can stay on their secondary. I think it was more for scouting on the secondary than it was anything.
Well, yeah, because if you believed what the media was saying and what our coaches were saying, is that our combined practices, we won every practice. We haven't won any of those games yet. Those pesky games have gotten in the way of the practice. So when we're doing those practices, we're winning those good practices. And it'll be interesting to see if winning those practices actually equates to real game strategy.
Yeah, and I pay no attention to those preseason games. I don't see it. You go look at that Tampa game where Brady was playing. Look at the play calling he was doing in order to get those passes where he needed in those tight spots. It was everyday business for him, but for the defense, it was just like let's see who can protect this, who can get out there and defend somebody.
Right.
We weren't trying to stop anybody.
Who has enough football acumen to be able to have a nose for the ball? Because that's what they're looking for.
That's what they were looking for.
They want to see if somebody is able to put themselves in the position. Here's your basic spot. Go make something happen. And if you can make something happen, you're going to make the squad.
Exactly. And that's what I'm saying. You look at it from secondary, from the secondary position, all they were trying to do was protect. It wasn't so much, okay, if the defensive line got in there and they did their sack or they got the tackle, okay, but the secondary is what everybody's hurting on right now. Nobody has any secondary.
Right.
So they were just trying to stop the pass, see how they could stop the pass, who was going to step up like you were talking about, and it was working from there. It's simplistic. It's simplistic football. Preseason is simple.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see because I agree. I don't think anybody has any cornerbacks. I think that cornerback is one of these situations now that you're just losing those battles most of the time. Realistically, that it takes the defensive line getting in there to be able to disrupt the quarterback.
Yep.
That's going to create the turnovers in that regard.
Yep.
Most of the time now, if the quarterback has got the 5 seconds for the route to take place, and the guy is going to be able to make a move, then you're going to lose that battle most of the time. And that's the real of it. That's why, big play Slay, for the Eagles is, got burned a lot because they couldn't get in on the quarterback at all. So when you got that extra second of time, you're going to get beat. Now, big play Slay got his nickname because Ndamukong Suh was on the team at the time and doing a lot of those, getting in the way. And then, of course, the moment Ndamukong Suh wasn't there anymore, they were having, the teams that they were playing had bad offensive lines as well, and they were able to get some difference. But they also had another cornerback on the other side who wound up getting traded, I think, as well. We got Slay. The other guy was who was the other guy? I think he wound up going to. Did he go to you guys?
Who's that?
The cornerback from the Lions that got traded last year?
Oh yeah,
Or
yeah,
2 years ago? 2 years ago?
yeah, yeah. But he's gone.
Why is he gone? He was actually one of the better ones, wasn't he?
No, no.
I thought that there was somebody who had a big contract. No. Maybe he went to Jacksonville or
Yeah,
he got traded
wasn't another.
somewhere. I remember this guy getting traded, and I remember it being a fairly big name. And Darius Slay actually got upset about it. He's like, "Well, what are you doing? He was actually the best cornerback in the league, and now you traded him."
Huh.
So, and I don't remember who it was, but I knew that in the free agent market or later, during that time, that's when we got Slay. But it was at the end of the year of 2019 because Slay played for us last year, and this will be his second year. But they got traded, and they may have gone to the Jets, but I don't think he went to the Jets.
I don't know. There's been so many people just floating around everywhere. It's like,
Yeah, it was definitely a trade though, and it was a trade for this corner. Was a guy named Patrick something or another? No,
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I
It's hard enough
try.
keeping up with our own team.
Yeah, that's my thing. I try and keep up with my team, and I'm just like I get lost with all the trades, transactions. I mean, I do have to keep my day job.
Was there any surprise cuts for you guys?
For the quarterback situation, I mean, getting back to what we were talking about, that 5 seconds, I think, that's why these NFL quarterbacks that step in, Gilbert, I thought he was doing okay. We didn't show anything, but again, that 5 seconds, you have 5 seconds to throw the ball. This is the NFL. You either throw the ball or you just move away. And that's something Gilbert couldn't do. Gilbert couldn't throw the ball. Cooper Rush could throw the ball. He got to get a lot of time. Your boy Ben DiNucci, 3 interceptions against Houston in the second half alone. I mean, no, I didn't have any. Well, there was no. I can't say I was really surprised with any of the cuts.
Yeah,
I really can't.
I mean, there wasn't any surprises really on our end. Uh, there was a surprise trade actually that surprised me that they were able to get rid of Matt Pryor, who was an offensive lineman, for the sixth, that and a seventh round pick for a sixth round pick.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, we traded Matt Pryor, sixth and a seventh round pick, and we got a sixth round pick in Garner Minshew. So Matt Pryor and a seventh round pick for Garner Minshew.
How do you feel about that?
I'm not a Garner Minshew fan. I don't buy in.
Yeah.
Mullets are for hockey, not for football.
Well, we just picked up, like I said, the stash for us, and I just don't. I didn't see it either. I couldn't understand why everybody was getting. The Cowboys Nation was. This is something we should have done. We could have gave up a 6th round pick. I'd rather have him than back. And I'm like, I just don't see it.
Well, all that told me literally was that Nick Mullins was gone.
Yeah.
That he was so bad that he couldn't remain on the team. And that's that. You know what I mean? It's just even our guy last year who was great on the bench all year because he didn't have to play.
Yeah.
Our third string quarterback, until that Washington game where he threw like 2 interceptions. He was like a deer in headlights and getting
We,
crushed. You know what I mean? It was just like he couldn't handle that pressure even a little bit.
we
Uh,
did pick up two today. Like I said, we got that running back out of New York, the Giants, out of the football Giants, Corey Clement.
oh, Corey Clements with the Cowboys?
Yeah.
He was an Eagle.
Yeah, he got signed off the waivers.
Ah. Uh,
Yeah.
I like Corey Clement. I'm glad that you told me that, so now I won't ask him to come on the podcast. It's
And then I told you we got that quarterback from Carolina. What the hell is his name? Will Greer.
oh yeah, I couldn't even tell you. All I know is that he got a mustache because you said so.
Well, he's like Danucci Part 2.
Got you.
I hope not. I hope not. Gosh, I hope not.
So who is your backup right now?
Cooper Rush.
Okay, so you guys are keeping 4 quarterbacks.
Well, it's still just 3. Gilbert got cut.
Right, but you have Ben DiNucci on the practice squad.
Yeah.
And this new guy.
Yeah.
And Cooper Rush. What a name that is. Cooper Rush.
And he's a redhead.
Of course. Of course he is. So real quick, let's talk a little bit about what is your tailgate going to be like for your games?
It's going to be going pretty good. We're going to be parked on the west side, right behind the CC's Pizza. We're going to have food, drinks, wristbands. Wristbands. You come over, you donate your money, you get your wristbands. It's unlimited Miller Lite. So you'll be able to get that. Food will be there for whatever you want to consume, snacks, whatever. Mostly barbecue. And then when you're ready to go to the stadium, you can get a little lift off the golf cart.
There you go. Nice.
Yeah,
what is the cost for your tailgate?
The guys haven't decided that. I think it's $20. I think it's
okay.
$20. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad
Nice.
at all. Yeah, like I said, you'll have food. We'll have the TVs on. We'll have the football games, depending on what time it is. And if you don't want to even go inside the stadium, you can just stay out there hanging out.
Well, what's going to happen for Monday Night Football? Anything special happening that night?
Well, we're going to hopefully see you guys there and have all the barbecue and food and everything else.
Yeah, I think I may bring my crew down there, and we may take over that tailgate. So kind of get in touch with Miller Lite and let them know, bring extra. We're coming. We're coming.
I hope so, man. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun that night. I think, it's going to be a long weekend for sure. You're getting there Saturday.
We're getting there Saturday night, Saturday evening, and then, like I said, Sunday we're doing our thing. It's that's going to be interesting. I'll see how that all turns out. Obviously, I want to get back in touch with Byron, especially since he's the master of the NFLPA and Jim, and let's see if we can get them all out there and have a collaboration between the shows, between their new show, which is starting tomorrow, or actually it's today, right? It started today.
Today, yeah, I believe so. Today
kicked off 7:00 on Zodiac TV. So definitely make sure to check that out.
Yep.
J&B Talking Shop.
There you go.
So definitely check that out on Zodiac TV and the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. So it'll be interesting to see them and to see all the different personalities on stage. Because obviously that means that, I'm going to have to get painted up for this, because I'm just not going to let you guys just be like, oh, the super fanned out and me just be in my normal gear. I gotta bring my attitude too.
Well, it's one of those things. when you say, "Oh, I'm just going to take it easy. I'm not going to put on the gear," then when you don't have the gear, you're like, "Damn it, I should have put on the gear."
I know now that it's just part of the gig.
Yep.
It is part of the gig. You have to put the gear on.
Yep.
When I don't want to wear the gear, I don't want to get recognized.
Exactly.
That's what happens. Nobody recognizes me when my hair's like this. They don't understand what's going on. They're just like, oh, I guess he's the Philly sports guy because he's got these letters that say the Philly sports guy underneath him. But other than that, they have no idea who I am without it. So,
Especially
uh,
when you're doing the your foundation work there, 22 days straight.
well, I tell you, I haven't put on makeup since then, and I'll be honest with you, I've had more zits since I didn't put the makeup on. I tell you, I've had like I've been breaking out above my eyes. It's almost like my skin was actually ready for the makeup, and now that the makeup's not there, it's wondering what's the problem. It sounds ridiculous, but that's exactly what's happening now. I've got all these zits breaking out, like all right up above here. Um,
Better you than me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's some of the trials and tribulations and real world problems of a face painting super fan. So
Well, it's a good thing
I
you don't have to go like that on the plane.
no, no. It's funny because I thought about that a couple of times. Like how if I wanted to get to the game, would I be able to get onto the plane like that? And I
Yeah.
can't imagine that they would because I would not pass through customs, or not customs, the
Oh, well, I figured you can get painted while on your way there if you're late for some reason.
Yeah, the problem is that I have to bring the shoulder pads. Like I could
Oh,
get painted up. It's the
yeah.
shoulder pads that would be the issue.
So you better start thinking about that.
So yeah, but I don't have to worry about that. I'm just bringing the stuff with me.
See, I got to fly with the big hat on.
Oh, there you go. Well, I can understand that though because that's foam. That's easy. Because I travel with my cowboy hat. That's how I travel. I wear my cowboy hat every time I get on a plane.
There you go.
Just the way I travel.
I
It's
see. I thought I saw you more as a fedora type of person.
well, I've got the fedora too. I mean, I've got that. That's even right here. Look at that. I can,
There you go.
you know, as I had, I'm just putting it on kind of like that. But there you go. So, and trust me, it's a great travel hat too. But my cowboy hat is actually the better travel hat,
There you go.
especially when you're going south. Like when I go to Atlanta, I'll have the cowboy hat on because I don't want nobody needs to recognize me until I get in the makeup. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's not, I ain't trying to impress anybody. And I also, like when I get on a plane, I'm not really interested in talking to people. It's
No.
just, like, what am I going to talk to? And what am I talking about? You know what I mean?
Most of the
I,
time I'm working.
yeah, I'm like too big. I'm listening to my phone. I'm playing a game. I'm not social
Yeah.
on an airplane. Unless there's a really hot looking girl right next to me, then I'll be social. You know what I mean? Because why not be social? Like, hey,
Yeah.
oh, you want to talk to me for a little bit? I would want to talk to you for a little bit just because you're cute. You
Yeah.
know?
I've got plenty of work to get done, so I'm always working on the plane.
And so you take a lot. I mean, so are you going to all 17 this year?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna try. I
Gotcha. How much help do you get from the Cowboys?
no.
Okay.
I wish.
Yeah.
But no, I
What's
don't get
up,
any.
Mario? There's Mario still hanging with us. I appreciate that from all the way down there. So
Hey Mario, so when a football game gets out to Germany, are you gonna make it?
he's in Australia.
Yeah, I know, but Germany's closer than here.
Well, he's actually coming here.
Oh, is he?
He's coming to Philly. So he does usually one game a year. And Mario was originally, I believe, from Philadelphia. And then moved to Sydney, Australia.
What do we have? What do we have? We have you guys week 17, don't we?
Yeah, week 18.
Yeah, week 18. There you go.
It's week 3 and week 18.
Otherwise, I'd say that'd be the game for him to go to.
Yeah, I think that everything's already going to be figured out by then, and that we're just not going to have to win that game. It's going to be in 2017 when you guys beat us 6-0. Did you go to that game? So Mario was born in Sydney. So, but he
in,
came up to Philly at one point.
in 17, no, I didn't make that one up there.
I tell you, he didn't miss anything. That
No,
was
I
that
didn't.
6-0 game. I was at that game. It was so cold. I, you know,
You
I
were leaning over the wall, weren't you? You were right there
now
in the front row.
I was not. I was not there in the front row. I went there with somebody who happened to know. So I have a buddy who's really big into the mascots. And so Swoop came up to our section and stuff like that. But it was so cold that day. Like, first off, it was 6-0 was the score. And I was so cold at the out there watching. I'm like, I'm going over inside here to go into this place that actually had a little bit of heat, and I froze in there. It was still cold in there. Watching the game, 6-0. It was such a boring, bad game because nobody wanted to score.
Well, that happens.
And like I said, I think you guys got 2 field goals. That's how you won the game.
Yeah, it's games like that that make you think, do you really want to go to one?
Well, that we had already won the first seed in the East, so we weren't even playing everybody that game.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
think we had Ben DiNucci on our team that game, and he went like 0 for 18. I
As
know
the
that
kicker
back,
or the punter?
yeah, whatever it could. I tell you, that's the one guy I wouldn't have wanted to be, Sav Rocca, because he was the guy on the team that year. He was our punter, and
Ever,
he had
ever
to punt the ball a lot.
after that game last year on Sunday night, after seeing him play, getting the start, seeing him play, I told myself I don't ever need to see that guy again. I wish the best for him, but as a fan, as a person, but as a fan, I just don't ever want to see him on the field again for my team.
Well, and I felt, and it's funny because I felt that the other Cowboys game, the one in Dallas, was the game where that they could have given Carson Wentz the opportunity to redeem himself, and they didn't do it.
Yep.
Yeah, with 9 minutes left, I think I even turned to you. I says, now would be the time that you put in Carson Wentz, and he would lead you to the playoffs. I said that to you. I thought that
Yep.
he could actually make that all happen. That would be the time, and that would have been, just think about that one move and how the rest of that season could have happened. With 9 minutes left, not to say that he would have come back and won that game, because
No,
if
but
he
the
lost the game,
opportunity.
right. Like he was when they drove down the field and he threw that interception in the end zone, hurts.
Yep.
And I'm like, now's the time. You gotta bring in Wentz. You gotta bring in Wentz. He's not doing very well. Let's see if Wentz can do it and get the team back. You know what I mean? That's kind of what happened. You
But
know,
I think that hurt the ego too when it was up there when they pulled him out to put in Hurts.
well, no, and I get that, but you gotta have the one time because he didn't get into that game.
Yep.
And he felt that he should have gotten into that game, and I felt he should have gotten into that game. He didn't dress the next week. That was the reason why they had to go with the third string quarterback. You know what I mean? When they dropped out because Wentz was out.
Now he's in Indianapolis.
And I don't know that he's going to be so good over there either. But
He's got the coach. He's got the coach that got him where he wanted to be. I don't know.
yeah, that coach hasn't won a playoff game, and neither has the quarterback. So, I mean, let's be for real, for real.
Well, Nick Foles is going to be here soon, somewhere.
Well, he might be in Dallas, from what I hear.
That's what I said. Well, somewhere here soon.
Yeah. But anyways, it was a great show. Thanks for hanging with us. We
Yep.
really appreciate you guys coming on and spending the entire draft and everything. This 2 hour episode. Next week we talk about real football.
Real
Yeah,
football.
we're gonna have 3 days. 3 days. Actually, the next day. You guys are playing the next day.
Yeah,
So
I don't know. I might be on the plane.
got you. Okay.
I might be on the
So
plane.
if not, hopefully we'll get to talk to you. I know that you'll be excited for that Thursday night game, and
Very much so.
I'd tell you good luck, but I don't mean it. So, and everybody else have a great night. Have a great Labor Day weekend, and as always,